Hello, this is my first tutorial, so bear with me. I've never done this before, but I wanted to show you how to change the animation of your player or your soldier to the proper angle animation, depending on which direction the player is heading. You can easily do this with the 8-point movement behavior. So if you had this, it would be easy to set the angle or the animation because you could tell which direction it was going. But in our case, we're going to be doing a 16 angle animation. So first you're going to need a sprite that has 16 different animations. I've set it up all here, but for example, this is 1 angle, 2 angle, 3 angle, 4 angle, 5 angle, 6 angle, all the way down to 16 angles. And you want to make sure you label each angle of the animation this way. So I put run underscore 1dr, which would stand for down and right, 1/4 of the down right angle, then 2 down right, 3 down right, 4 down right, then down left, then upper right, up right, up right, up right, and then up left, up left. So those are the 16 animations. And the reason I use run underscore is because you're going to have maybe your shooting one. So if you had a shooting one, it would be shoot underscore 1dr all the way down to 4ul. Or you could have idle, like if the character is just standing still and he does some tricks with his hat or something like that, you could do idle underscore. And I'll show you how it all works right now. Here is the circle, letting you know it's kind of self-explanatory in the code, but upper right is between here, upper left is here, down the left is that way, and down right is that way. And let's see. To set that all up, you're going to need to set turret is between certain degrees. Before we get to that though, you're going to want to make sure to make a turret that is in a container with your player. So you want to make sure you add the container that they're together. And then before you start adding directions, you're going to want to make sure that you set the player to the turret and then pin the player on the turret. And the reason you want to set the player to the turret is because the turret's going to be the one moving. If you pin the turret to the player, the turret won't move. You won't move. So you want to make sure that it has the pin behavior, obviously. And then you want to make sure that your turret has a pathfinding behavior, because that's how it's going to move. So when I left click, the turret's just going to move to my mouse click. And the way you change your directions is you set it up like this. So we could set this up if the player was shooting and we wanted to make sure it was shooting in the right direction. You could set this to shoot underscore turret direction, but in this case it's going to be run underscore turret direction because it's a running animation. So you want to make sure you set it to something like that, something similar. And for here, if your character's your turret's not moving, I just put stop animation, but this is where you could put something like idle underscore turret direction. So it's just facing the right direction when it stops, and it just doesn't jump to a default animation that looks kind of ugly. So then when we run the game, when the turret is going to angles, it's going to set this, which will set this part of the animation, and run underscore is the action that's going on. So let's check it out. So when I click, we're going to see the player, the soldier, move to wherever I click. If you look in the upper left over here, you'll see what the variable is for the turret, the direction variable on the turret, and then what animation is playing. And it works really smoothly. Of course, if there's an easier way to do this, leave me a comment below. I'd be happy to look at it. But this is the way that I do it for my games if I want to make the animations more smooth by adding more angles. And of course, when a little tip is if you're going to do this, you're going to need a lot of sprites, a lot of at different angles. Make sure that your sprite is as small as possible, not just shrinking it inside the construct engine by dragging and making it smaller. You need to make sure that you actually make the sprite smaller. Otherwise, if you're making this for a mobile device, it's gonna hang and crash because it can't load such huge images, so many huge images. But that's about it. Let me know if there's any questions below in the comments, and I'll try to check them out and answer them. Take care.